Hello, my name is Arya Peruma, and welcome to today's webinar. So today we're actually going to be learning how to code simple but very fun animation-based apps and programs. And this webinar is for students who are around primary and elementary school. And so today we're just going to be setting a basic foundation of coding ideas and concepts, which we can use in the future to expand our knowledge and create even more complex apps and programs as well. And I would also like to add that if at any point of this webinar you have any questions or suggestions or anything you would like to say, please feel free to type them in the chat as well. So with this, let's begin with today's webinar. So as I'm sure many of you know, today we're actually going to be working on coding. And first, before we actually get into the coding itself, I would just like to give everyone a brief overview on what coding really is and the objectives of coding. So coding is essentially when you give a computer a set of instructions to follow so it can perform a specific task. And I'll provide everyone with a real life example of this. So, for example, let's pretend that we are all computers and we're trying to bake a cake. So, in order to actually bake our cake, we need a recipe to follow so we can actually create our final product, which is the cake itself. So, in order to actually bake this cake, we need a cake recipe as the code for us, the computers, to follow and eventually create a final product, which is the cake. And this is really, really similar to how programming and coding with computers works in real life as well. So essentially, instead of baking this time, you're essentially going to be writing code, which the computer will read as a set of instructions in order to run a program or get a final product, whatever you're trying to achieve by actually making this code. And as I gave everyone this baking example of us being the computers and a cake recipe being kind of the code or a set of instructions we need to follow in order to make our final program, which in this case was the cake, there are so many more real life applications to coding as well, which we can really use. And this is just one brief example of what coding can really do. So now that I have given everyone a kind of brief overview of the objectives of coding and what coding really is, we can actually start to write our programs and our code. So let's get started with our animation project, which we're going to be doing today. So today we're just going to be programming a bit so we can actually code some animation-based apps. And you'll see what that looks like in a moment. So before we do get started with our coding, I just want to ensure and make sure that everyone here does have an account with code.org, as that is what we're going to be using today in order to program our project and our app. So an email was sent to everyone so everyone could register for code.org. And if you're not already on this site right now and you're not already registered with code.org and inside your account, I'll give everyone a few moments to get to this page. So feel free to ask if you have any questions, and I'll just give a few moments for everyone to actually enter this page right now. Okay, so hopefully everyone had made an account with code.org, and was able to get on this page. Please do let me know if there were any difficulties or questions with that. Um, all right, so now that everyone is here, I'll now tell everyone how to actually get to the interface or program running software which we'll be using in order to actually code today. So first, if you guys can see, there are three kind of buttons at the top over here in the menu. So what I want everyone to do is everyone should go to this button over here that says Course Catalog. So please click on that. And now that should bring you to this page over here. So if you scroll a bit down, as you can see, there are three blue boxes here. And I would like to bring everyone's attention to this box over here that says grades K to 5. And essentially what you want to do is you want to just click Learn More. And now what everyone should do is scroll down a bit. And if you scroll down, you should see this over here. Course A, Course B, Course C, Course D, and you should go all the way over here to Course E and click on that. So finally, what we need to now do is, now that we're on Course E, what we should do is you should bring your attention to this over here. It says Lesson 1, Sequencing in the Maze, and just go ahead and click on 1. All right, so now if you have done all those steps, it should bring you to this page over here, and there's a video here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give everyone a few moments to actually get to this point, and get to the screen where I am right now. And please do let me know if there were any difficulties or questions anyone has so far about this. Okay, so um, there may have been a few who have not gotten to this point yet. So I'm just going to redo this instructions again, which I've just done. So essentially, I'm going to go back to the page we were at. And now what you should do is, now that you're here, you should go click on Course Catalog. And keep in mind that you do need an account with code.org for this. And in the case that you have not already created an account, what you should do is just go ahead and type in code.org inside your browser. And as you can see, I'm already signed in. But what you have to do is, if you actually type in that link, over here, somewhere over here on the top right corner, there should be a button that says create an account. And you would have to use an email in order to create your account. And once you've created your account, it should bring you to this page over here. All right, so I'm just going to give everyone a few moments to get to this screen over here, and then I will redo those instructions again to get to that point, if anyone was lost or wasn't able to get to that point yet. Okay, so I hope everyone has come to this screen I am on right now. Just please let me know if you would like me to wait a bit more or if you have any questions. So now I'm just going to tell everyone how to get to the platform, which we're going to be using today. So you should go over here in the menu over here and click Course Catalog and scroll down. And there should be 3 boxes here. You should click Learn More in the box that says Grades K to 5. And scroll down from this page, and you should see something that says Course E, and click that. And then finally, when you actually click on that Course E box, you would see this over here, and you should see Lesson 1, Sequencing in the Maze, and just go ahead and click that one over there. All right, so I'll give everyone a few more moments to get to this point as well. Okay, so now we're just going to proceed with our lesson. Please do let me know, once again, as always, if anyone had questions or um, had something they wanted repeated or anything like that. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead, and if everyone is at this video now, go ahead and just click this orange continue button over here. And when you click that orange continue button, you should see this screen over here. And it should say at the top, for this puzzle, snap all the blocks together and click run to watch it go. And just click OK. And over here, just click the X button if you see that notification pop up. So I'm just going to get everyone familiarized with this, this workspace, which we're going to be using today. So on the left over here, if you bring your attention to the left, there's a screen over here, and this screen is just a display. So this is where you'll see what your code, which you made, actually is going to do. So when you actually code something over here in the workspace, this display screen over here on the left will run your code and show the display when you run your code as well. And this is the run button, which will run your code all together. And this is a step button, which will run your code step by step, so one line at a time. And this one will just run all of the lines of code at once. Over here, we have in the middle over here, something that says blocks. So this is where we'll get access to our library of blocks from, the blocks which we are going to be using today to code. And this, of course, is our workspace, where we will be putting our blocks in and where we will be coding as well. So what we want to do is, for this puzzle, we want to get this angry bird over here all the way over to this green pig. So we want to move this angry bird to this green pig over here. So in order to do this, we need to utilize our code. And as you can see, there is one block over here given to us called move forward. And this is actually something called a built-in function, which will help your object, which is the angry bird, move forward. So in code, these are called functions. In this case, move forward is a built-in function, as you can see when you hover over it. The purpose of this function is to move something forward one space. So in other words, when you actually put this function inside your code, it will move the Angry Bird forward one space. And a good rule of thumb to have is, as you can see, there are multiple blocks here on our display screen. So each block, each square, is one space. So we need to get this over here to the green pig. So what we have to do is, as you can see, there's 1, 2. There are 2 blocks left until we need this Angry Bird to reach the pig. So as you can see in our workspace, we already have 2 blocks here. So we're just going to take these and drag them over here. So now if you can see, there's a when run function. When this is run, when this code which we've programmed is run, this bird over here will move forward 2 steps, 2 spaces, which will get us to this pig. So if I run it, all right. So this is the code which we need in order for the Angry Bird to move 2 spaces towards the pig. So now I'm just going to give everyone an opportunity to try this, just a few minutes or moments to try this yourself. And make sure to use your move forward function in order to run this code and have this bird over here move 2 steps forward to the pig. Okay, so I hope everyone has been able to move their Angry Bird forward towards the green pig. And now, before I move on to the next exercise, I would like to show everyone something really important and cool as well. So if you click the Show Code button over here, what actually happens is you see the written code. So what we were coding in before is called block-based code. But this block-based code is a visual way to see what our code will actually do. And is the exact same thing essentially as this written code as well, because as you can see, they actually mean the same thing. So this written code says move forward, as I mentioned before. It's a built-in function which will allow your Angry Bird to move forward. So it will move forward 2 times. So it will move forward 2 times, and it will move forward 2 times. And over here in the block-based code as well, we have it moving forward 2 times as well. So this is block-based form, but what it's really doing is it's really taking this code into account as well. And something really cool, which I would like to mention to everyone today as well, is this programming language which these blocks are running on, and what the base of this block-based coding is a programming language called JavaScript. So I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with JavaScript, but this is actually utilizing JavaScript, which is a very frequently used programming language. So anyone can see my screen now. So the code which we have coded with our blocks can be translated into JavaScript, which is otherwise known as the language of the web. And as I mentioned before, it's a really frequently used programming language as well. So now I'm just going to switch back to the code over here. So this is JavaScript over here, which you see right now. And now I hope everyone has been able to move their Angry Bird 2 steps forward. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to move on to our next exercise. So in order to do that, if you just click this circle, this white circle beside the 2, it should say 3 practice, and then click it. And then it should take you to this. So now what we have to do is we have to do the same thing, except now instead of 2 spaces forward, we need to move our Angry Bird 3 spaces forward because we need 1, 2, 3 spaces in order to reach this pig over here. So in order to do that, we're going to once again use our move forward function or move forward function or a move forward block here, which you've been given. So when this runs, we want it to move forward 1 step, move forward 2 steps, and finally move forward 3 steps. And now if we run this, so when we actually run that, if you actually saw, we actually were able to jump 3 steps forward in order to get to this green pig over here, just using our move forward function. So I'm just going to once again give everyone a few moments to try this out yourself. Please do let me know if there are any questions which you have or anything else you'd like to say. Please do type it in the chat. All right, so hopefully everyone has been given an opportunity to move their Angry Bird forward 3 spaces to reach the green pig. And now I hope everyone has been able to use the move forward function to do that. I'm just going to once again show everyone the code in JavaScript. So if you remember the code and text for the last exercise which we did, it was very, very similar. The exact same almost, except now, since we're just moving it 1 extra step, we have 1 extra move forward function over here. Okay, so now that everyone is done with this, I'm just going to now move on to our next exercise. So if you want to go there, we have to go and click the opened white circle beside it and just click that over there. And when you click it, you should be brought to this page over here. So as you can see, in the last 2 exercises, we only had move forward functions, but this time we have 2 new ones, which allow you to turn right and also allow you to turn left. So we want this angry bird to still reach the pig, but now, as you can see, the pig is just not in a straight line with the angry bird. So we do have to use either turning right or turning left to reach the angry bird, the green pig. So in order to do this, what we have to do is we need to count how many steps forward we can get up to. So we can go 1, 2, 3. So that's looking like around 3 steps forward. So we can just test that. So 1, 2, 3. Let's just test 3 steps forward. So first, let's try to move it 3 steps forward. So if you actually saw that, we got really, really close to the green pig, but we didn't actually get right at the location of the green pig. So what we have to do is, apart from just moving it 3 steps forward, we also have to make this bird turn right. And then when it turns right, it should move 1 step forward again to reach the pig. So it should turn right, and this will allow the angry bird to just turn. So 1, 2, 3 steps forward, it would just turn right, and then when it turns right, it should move 1 step forward to reach the angry bird. The angry bird should reach the pig. Okay, so we turn right and then move 1 step forward. Okay, so I'll give everyone a few moments to try this out themselves also. So just try to make it turn either left or right, and also use your move forward functions as well in order to reach this Angry Bird green pig over here. And while everyone is working on that, I'm just going to quickly show everyone the code in JavaScript as well. So as you can see, there are our move forward functions. But we also have now a turn right function, which allowed our red bird to turn right, and then another move forward function, which allowed it to move forward from that position. Okay, so I hope everyone has been able to complete this task and bring the red bird over to the green pig. So now we're just going to go ahead and click the circle behind this. And if you hover over it, it should say 5 practice, and just click on it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, this exercise is a bit different from the rest that we've done so far. So if you actually see on the block side, we still have that move forward function, turn left function, and turn right function. Um, However, as you can see, we have a few grayed out blocks over here. So what we have to do for this exercise is we have to kind of use our debugging skills. So I'll get into debugging more soon inside this webinar. However, debugging is just the act of when you want to revise your code or delete or add certain amounts of code in order to get the most efficient code you possibly can. And in order to do this, we have to see what code here we don't need to reach the green pig. So if we move this red bird forward 1 step, we should move it forward 1 step, but then it should turn left. But as you can see over here in this code, it moves forward and then it moves forward again. but we don't want it to move forward again because we don't want it to hit this. So if you could see from that, this is the unneeded line of code, this move forward block over here. So what we can do is we can actually delete that line of code. So in order to delete it, just separate the blocks. If you do it like this, everything comes together. So to help you a bit more, I would recommend separating the blocks. And then when you separate it, you should take this blue block over here and drag it to the left and just let it go. And then don't forget to move this as well. So what I just did is I actually quickly demonstrated to everyone how to debug. We go through our code and we make sure all the lines are necessary in order to accomplish our task. However, that move forward function was not necessary as it would move forward 2 spaces. So I decided to remove that. So now if we actually look at this, this would move forward 1 space, it would turn left, move forward another space, and move forward another space. And if everyone saw that, that's exactly how you would debug this code. So just make sure all of your lines of code are needed and just remove or even add in some cases the code which you either need or don't need. And I'll give everyone, as usual, a few moments to work on that as well. And if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them. And then while everyone is working on this, I'm just going to show everyone the written code in JavaScript as well. So this will use the move forward function, which is the block we've used, turn left, move forward, and move forward. So those are like the set of instructions which you are giving the computer to follow in order to complete the task, which is having a red bird reach the green pig. So I'll just give everyone a few moments to try this. So hopefully everyone has been able to do this. And please let me know if you have any questions. And now what we have to do is go over to this diamond beside the one you're on right now and just go ahead and click on that. So that should bring you to this video, which says video debugging. So we're just going to leave this here, and I'm just going to bring everyone's attention back to this. So now we're on to our next kind of part of our programs and our animation app. So we have learned to perform a set of instructions to navigate through a maze, as we did to navigate our red angry bird through the maze, and we gave the computer a list of instructions to follow. So our red angry bird, could navigate through the maze to get to our green pig. So that's what we just did. So we just learned to do that, and now that we have learned to do that, I would like to introduce to everyone a new idea, which we haven't really touched on that much yet. I have mentioned it before, and that was debugging. So we have learned, as I mentioned previously, how we use code to write instructions for our computer. Now we're just going to learn to debug. And debugging is when you find and fix errors in your code. So as we did before in the exercise which you just did right now, we took away a move block. So we took away one of the blocks and we took them away in order to actually make sure that our red Angry Bird would reach our green pig properly. So that's what we're going to be working on more here. We're just going to be working on debugging. And we're just going to either add or take away parts of our code which we need or which we don't need um, in order to have code that really works. So this skill of debugging is a very important skill for all coders to have, and it's really important for everyone to start young as well to debug, as it's really important to understand your code and realize the issues you have in your code so you can fix it. And also, debugging makes you a better programmer and coder, as rather than someone else finding your mistakes, you're finding your own mistakes in your code, and that just helps you learn and get familiarized with your code even more. So now that I've given everyone a kind of introduction on debugging, let's go back to our code. So everyone should be at this video right now, and just scroll down and click this orange continue button. And now, as you see, we have the squirrel from the movie Ice Age, and what we are actually going to do is we're going to use our debugging skills to get Scrat, which I believe is the name of the squirrel, to this acorn over here. So as you can see, there's already some pre-written code over here for you. And what you have to do is you have to either add or remove blocks of code and functions in order to get the squirrel to the acorn. So let's look at this code together. First, I'm just going to show everyone step by step what happens with the code which is written already. So what happens is first it moves one step forward, and then it turns right. And then it moves forward. And what happens is when this happens, you move forward and you turn right, and then you move forward again. The scroll quite doesn't step on all of the ice blocks. And we don't want that. We want the scroll to step on the ice blocks. We don't want the scroll to fall inside the water. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to debug and move or add things in order to get the scroll to the acorn. So let's look at this code, which has already been written for us. So when this is run, it should move forward one step. Yep, that's good. If it moves forward, it'll be here. After this, it should move forward one more step. So after this move forward function, it says turn right. We don't want it to turn right. We want it to move forward after that. So we want it to move forward and then move forward. And then when it moves forward, it would be facing this direction over here, but we want it to turn right so it can face the direction of the acorn. So then we want it to turn right, which is here already. And now when it turns right, it should move one step forward and another step forward. And then that should allow it to reach the acorn. So now let's run it. Okay, so hopefully everyone was able to follow along with that. It's quite an easy process. All we need to do is we need to use our functions to navigate through our blocks. So we know that it has to go forward two steps, move to the right, and then move forward two steps once again to reach the acorn. And since we know those are the steps it needs to take, we're just going to be coding it like that. So I'll just give everyone a few moments to work this one out on your own. All right, so hopefully everyone's able to get the squirrel to the acorn. And now that everyone has been able to do that, please let me know once again if there were any questions, or would you like me to repeat something or anything like that. But now that everyone has reached to this point, I will now move on to our next exercise. So what we want to do is click the circle beside number 7. It should say number 8, practice. Just click on that. And now that we're here, we want to do the exact same thing. So we want to now get the scroll to the acorn again, but this time the path is a bit different. So we want this scroll to move forward first. So it should move forward. Want to move forward, and then from here it should move right. It should turn to the right. So when it turns to the right, it just turns. But now that it is facing to the right, it should just simply move forward. So I'm just going to use this step block over here to show everyone what that looks like so far. Our code is not quite done yet. However, I'm just going to show everyone what happens so far. So as you saw, what happens is since we clicked the left button, we said turn left instead of right. As I mentioned previously, we would want it to turn right. However, I put a turn left block here just to show everyone um, that what would happen if you actually write these steps incorrectly. And also to tell everyone that this is how it works in real life as well. Even if you have a lot of correct steps and just one step in the middle is incorrect, what actually happens is your whole code ends up breaking and it doesn't end up working as you want it to. So it's really important that you use the skill of debugging to help you figure out where your code went wrong so your code doesn't break in the middle of you running it. So now that we know that it can't turn left, we're just going to change this to right. So now that we move forward, we turn it right and it moves forward again. So that leads it to being here. So now it's faced to the right. So now what I have to do is, in order to bring it to the left, we need to bring it to the left, turn it to the left, and we need to move forward. So let's see if this works. Okay, so that is how you would get the squirrel to the acorn in this case. So we would just use our move forward, turn right, and turn left functions to move it to the acorn. And also, don't worry and don't be afraid to experiment with this a bit and just put blocks in places where you think they would work as well with where the acorn is. Because another really important skill for coding is being able to experiment and test with different possibilities as well. So I'm just going to give everyone a few moments to try this out on their own, and please ask me if there are any questions. And then I'm just going to quickly show everyone this code over here. This is just the standard JavaScript code, which we've seen before with our functions that tell us to move forward, turn right, turn left. And I'll just give everyone a few moments to complete this. All right, so I hope everyone was able to code this and make their squirrel go to the acorn. Now we're going to move on to our next exercise. So go ahead and click the circle behind it, 9, and just click that. So now this is once again another debugging practice exercise. So what we have to do here is we're also going to be debugging as well. And we're just going to, first of all, look at this code which has already been written for us and see what we have to change, either remove or add, to make the squirrel reach the acorn. So when it runs, what happens? Let's just see what happened so far. So it moves forwards. That was this function, and it turns right, and then it moves forward. So if everyone saw that, it moved forward over here, which is okay, but then it turned to the right, and then it moved forward again, which caused the squirrel to step on this broken piece of ice, which didn't really lead it to the acorn. So we want to change this. So we want to, first of all, see what we need to do to get the squirrel to the acorn. So we move it forward, that's good. But now instead of turning right, we need it to turn left. So we're going to change this right to left. Just click this drop down over here and just select left. So now it should turn to the left and it should move forward one space. And now when it moves forward, it should be over here. And then finally, from here, it should turn to the right and move forward. So we're going to change this to right. And I'm going to run this. Okay, so now that we have looked at this, I'll once again give everyone a few moments to try this out on their own as well. And then, as usual, please let me know if there are any questions. And I'll just once again show everyone the code in JavaScript, using those same functions, those same 3 functions, which we've become quite familiarized with. Okay, so now that everyone has been able to get to this, go ahead and click on the circle right beside it. It says 10 practice, and just go ahead and click that. And now I would like to introduce to everyone this new block that you see. So as you can see over here, we have our standard blocks that we've been using for a while now. But now we have this new block that says repeat and a number amount of times. And it says do over here as well. So I'm just going to quickly explain what this block actually does, as we haven't actually seen it before. So we've actually been introduced to a new block, which is that pink block, which I pointed out earlier. And this block, the purpose of this block is to repeat lines of code for you. So you don't have to keep on dragging these same blocks over and over again. So I'll give everyone an example. So going back to the code, if we go back to even the second practice we did, as you can see, we had our bird over here move forward 3 times. So 3 isn't a very huge number to drag blocks. It's okay to drag 3 blocks because that didn't take much time. However, say you wanted to drag 100 blocks there. You want your bird to move 100 steps. That would take quite a long time. So that's where that pink block comes in. So that pink block, as I mentioned before, will repeat the line of code for you, so you don't have to keep on dragging the same blocks over and over again. So if you wanted to move your bird 100 steps, you can use that function, that move forward block, and put it inside your looping block, which I'm going to get to later, which is that pink block. And you can actually use that to repeat your code and have your bird move forward 100 times. So this is just an example. I just mentioned it with 100 steps. However, 5 steps, any amount of steps that are greater than 1. So instead of dragging 5 move forward blocks, you can drag in the pink repeat block, which is that block I showed everyone earlier. And that will just repeat that action which you put inside the block, the amount of times which you want it to repeat. So the process of repeating something over and over again in coding is called looping. And looping is not only something used in coding, but is something that you can use the ideas of in everyday life as well. So I'll give everyone an example to make this a bit easier to understand. So you can use looping when you brush your teeth twice every day because you do those same actions. You repeat those actions twice every day. You keep on doing it. So that's an example of a loop in real life context. And it could also be when you sit down to do your homework for an hour every day. So say you want to do your homework, you have some homework to do, and you sit down in your room and you do some homework for an hour every day. And since you do it every day, you do it repeatedly more than once, that is also an example of a loop. So I hope everyone was able to understand what a loop is from these 2 examples. It's just when you repeat something over and over again a certain amount of times. So now I'm going to go back to my code and go back to that lesson practice 9 we were on. And we just finished practice 9. So now we're on practice 10. So I'll go ahead and click 10. So now what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can use this. We may not be able to use it, but we also may be able to use it. But first, we have to see how we would get the squirrel to the acorn. So we should want it to move forward. And then we don't want it to turn right like this block of code says. We want it to turn left so it can continue on its path this way. Because if you turned right, it would be going away from the acorn, which is something we don't want. So we should move this left. So we should move forward 1 step and move it left. So what happens is that was move forward 1 step and it turns left. So when it turns left, it should move forward. And it should move forward 1 block, but as you can see, there's 2 move forward blocks here. So it should move forward 1 block over there, but it should move forward another block, or otherwise the squirrel is going to fall inside the water. So let's remove a move forward block. So I'm going to remove that. So now what we have is, as you can see, there is some yellow highlighting around the line of code which is just being run. So moves forward, turns left, moves forward again. And now, as you can see, it's facing this way. So we need to turn right. We have to make it turn right so it can go to this acorn. So it is already on turn right. So we made it turn right. And now what we have to do is we can move the scroll forward. So when it turns right, we should move it 1, 2 steps forward, which is already there written for us. So I'm just going to, and that's up to this line of code. So we have it moved 2 steps forward and it got us here. And now from this, we finally have to turn the scroll. We don't need to turn the scroll right at. We have to turn the squirrel to the right side because we want it to face the acorn. So let's try this. So before it was facing this way, so we need to turn the squirrel to the right side. And now it's facing the direction of the acorn. It moves forward one more time. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to now give everyone a few moments to try this out on their own. I'm just going to run it all together as well. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is now give everyone a few moments to try that out on their own and see if they can get it working. For this specific code over here, I didn't use the repeat pink block over here, the looping block. However, you can if you wanted to for this these two move forward functions. But since these were already pre-written for us, I didn't add this block. But in the future, there will be more exercises coming, which we do need to add this block in. And if anyone was curious, I'll show everyone what it looks like when we do add this block as well. So instead of these two move forward blocks over here, what we can do is we put this in and we want it to move forward 2 times. Instead of putting two move forward blocks there, we wanted it to move forward 2 times, which we can just use this repeat block to do that. All right, so if you actually saw that, both the codes I had before did the exact same thing. They both got the squirrel to the acorn. Just the other one did not have this pink block because I actually wrote move forward or dragged in the move forward block twice instead of putting this repeat block in there. So both are equally acceptable. However, I would encourage everyone to practice with the repeat block as well, because when you have to add an extreme amount of steps, an even greater amount of steps than just two, as I mentioned before, 100 or something even higher, the repeat block and this looping, this idea of looping will really come in handy as well. So I would encourage everyone to try it both ways if they can. And then once again, I'm just going to show the code. And what this does is this is a for loop. That's what you would call it in JavaScript. It is called a for loop. And this for loop essentially will just loop the code twice. So it will allow you to move forward twice. And that's what this over here is saying. So I'll give everyone a quick moment. Okay, so hopefully everyone was able to figure this out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring your attention to number 11. So number 11 is a challenge puzzle. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give everyone an opportunity to try this right now. And I'm just going to see if anyone can do it. So I'm just going to give everyone a chance to just try this on their own. But please let me know if you had any questions or difficulties with it. So I'm just going to leave this on the screen. And as everyone is working on it as well, I'm also going to do it with you guys, so you can check back and refer back to what I did as well if you had any questions or had any trouble with it. So if anyone saw that, if anyone was looking at my screen, I just showed everyone another example of what happens when there is kind of a mistake in your code. So I put two move forward blocks here, which allowed the scroll to fall inside the water. Um, However, now what we need to do is we need to make sure that that doesn't happen. So we have to continue to debug. So I'm just giving this as an example to once again let people be aware of what you need to do and what really happens when there's even a small part of your code which needs fixing. And that's why the skill of debugging is so, so important. And if anyone was having some difficulties or needed some questions, there is the code over here to refer to it. Please let me know if you do have any questions. This was a kind of fun practice puzzle to practice your coding skills. Okay, so I hope everyone was able to get that coded. Please let me know if you have any questions with that. So now we're going to move to the next one beside it, which has number 12, practice. Just click on that circle. And now, as you can see, there is no code written here. So before, there was already some code written, and now we had to debug it. But now we don't have any code written at all. So we have to write this code from scratch. So we have to actually code this, so we'll get to the acorn as well. And now is a great opportunity for us to actually use looping and the repeat block. Because as you can see, to get to the acorn, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 steps we need to do, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 more steps we have to do. And since all these steps are taking our forward, we can use the repeat block to do it instead of dragging 4 move forward blocks there. So we need the scroll to go 1, 2, 3, 4 steps forward. So instead of 4 move forward blocks, we're just going to take this loop block or repeat block, and we're going to repeat it 4 times. So just go ahead and type in 4. So just click on that box and just type in 4. And all this is saying is when the code is run, it is going to repeat the move forward function 4 times. So it's going to allow the squirrel to advance 4 times. And now when it advances 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, it would be here. So let's see what happens so far. So our code is quite not finished yet. However, I just ran it to just demonstrate what happened so far. It moves forward 4 times. And now what we have to do is, since it moves forward 4 times, we need to turn right after that. So it should turn right. And then when it turns right, it would be facing the correct way of the acorn. And now we can just drag in another repeat or looping block to make it go 1, 2, 3, 4 more times, to make it move forward 4 more times. So now what should happen is freeze the step. So using our looping function, we move it forward and now make it turn right and we move it forward 4 more times. And that's exactly how we can use our looping in order to move our squirrel and animate our object, which in this case is a squirrel. And I'll just once again show everyone the code in JavaScript, which essentially we use this code in JavaScript. That's exactly what we just wrote. So it just has another for loop, and it's just looping it, just saying that we want it to run 4 times. We want the move forward function to go 4 times. And I'll just give everyone a few moments to finish this. And finally, we're going to move on to our final exercise. So click this circle over here, number 13. And our very, very final exercise is we want to get the scroll to the acorn as well. So I'm just going to demonstrate this. Want to move forward, 1. And then when it moves forward, it should turn right. And then when it turns right, it should move forward again. Let's see where that gets it. So from here, from this block, what it should do is should turn left. When it turns left, it should move forward once again to get us to this point. And now finally, we need to turn right once again so we can have it facing this direction, and then move forward, which would get us over here, and then turn left to make it face this direction. Move 1 more block to get us over here, and then finally turn right to face the direction of the acorn and move forward once more. So essentially, if everyone saw that, that's exactly how you would navigate through this um, program and how you would actually navigate through this maze as well to make the squirrel reach the acorn. Okay, yeah. All right, so this is, as you know, our final exercise, which we'll be doing today. Um, yes, please let me know if you do have any questions with this. Um, it would really help to visualize what way the squirrel needs to move in order to get to the acorn. That's what you would write your code based upon. And just finally, just to help people see it both ways, I'm going to show this in JavaScript as well. All right, so I hope everyone has been able to code this. Okay, so this does bring us to the end of today's webinar. I really hope everyone enjoyed and was able to learn something new and fun from it and was able to have a lot of fun today. It was great to see a lot of young coders joining us today as well. And I'm very happy everyone was able to join and participate in coding today. And in addition to this, I would also like to add that next month I will be starting Java webinars, which will allow students to learn how to program in Java and will also teach them really fundamental skills that are needed for that programming language. And these webinars will be for slightly older students. So if you know of anyone who would be interested in this, please do let them know. Updates on this will be posted on our website. Um, as well as Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook pages. So please make sure to follow those for any upcoming information on any events or upcoming webinars as well. And the link to our website is displayed on the screen you are seeing right now. And with this, I would once again like to thank everyone so much for attending today's webinar and for coming today and coding with me. And I hope everyone enjoyed and was able to learn something. And I hope to see everyone in another upcoming webinar. Once again, thank you so much and bye.